All right, so you should have gotten a link, but this is we're gonna do the first drawing for AutoCAD here. This is gonna be the AutoCAD web mobile app that we can use. This is for our Chromebook users. Full disclosure, this is the first time I've ever really done a drawing on here, so this could be a little bit bumpy, but we can get it done. I'm pretty 99% sure and confident that we can do this. So should have already had this. I would have provided this for you. This is kind of what yours should look like on here. We're going to go do new drawing. We're going to call this border and block. Now I actually just tried this, and then we're going to be imperial, and it didn't work. So this is like my second try. So let's see. Go to open, and okay, it worked. All right. If you get that spinning that says it's taking too long, just go back, do it again, and this is what we should see. So this is our drawing surface here, XY coordinates that you probably remember from math class that you guys never really wanted to pay attention to, the Cartesian coordinate system. Now we're going to use this. Okay. Oh, sorry. To pan, if you have a scroll wheel, if you're using a mouse, I highly suggest using a mouse. If you're using a scroll wheel, you push down on it, and this little hand pops up, and you can pan. All right. One thing I don't like about this is that it has this big, huge block right here for our menu and command items. All right. Um, I don't like that. It's a little bit better in regular AutoCAD where it has all the icons up on top up here, and this big thing kind of takes up 1/3 of the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this thing out of the way and just go like this. All right. Now we can start. We're not going to be printing anything, so we don't have to set our limits. Limits would be how big our drawing paper is going to be. Now, this thing doesn't care about paper, but you set limits on here. They're imaginary limits telling you what the size of your drawing area is. Nothing changes. It still looks black like this with a green line and red line on there and XY, but according to the computer, you're telling it how big we are physically making our drawing area. So we can start though. Actually, I need to go back there, and I want to start with line. Now, there's multiple ways to input commands into AutoCAD. You can hit L, enter on your keyboard, and the line command will pop up, or you can go find this icon and click on there. What I don't like about it is I personally don't like these big, huge things here. I haven't played with it enough to see if I can move it out of my way. So you'll hear me and see me typing a lot. So it just canceled it because I clicked. So I'm going to go ahead and click L, enter. Now for this instance, I'm going to use a coordinate input. So I'm going to tell it specifically coordinates that I want to go. And I want it to be 0.25, comma, 0.25, and then hit enter. And you'll see it went all the way down over here. And it looks like it's all the way at the 0, but if we zoom in, I'm using my scroll wheel to move in. You'll see that we were actually zoomed out a lot, and I am 0.25 away, 0.25 away. So 0.25 by 0.25. We're doing our quarter-inch border here, okay? So I'm going to zoom out a little bit using the scroll wheel, okay? And it kind of should click and lock into place like that, and you want that green line to pop up. That kind of locks it into place for you, so you're sure you're drawing a perfectly straight line. So one thing you have to understand about a CAD system, if it looks straight, sometimes just because it passes the eyeball test doesn't mean it's straight. All right. So this is a nice thing to know that if we lock into these green lines on here, that it is perfectly at 90 degrees, okay, or perfectly straight. So we're going to go over, all right, what would be on our piece of paper, 10.5. So we're going to go 10.5. That's how wide our piece of paper is or is it going to be. Okay. Next, I'm actually going to do something. You'll see why in a few minutes. I'm going to go up 0.5 first, straight up. Okay. Then I'm going to go up another 7. I'm going to explain that. Why don't we just go up 7.5? You'll see in a minute. So I'm going to go up 7. Okay. Then we're going to go across 10.5. Okay. And then we're going to go down. Now you can type in, well, let's type in 7. And then now to finish off, I'm going to zoom in here, pull this over. Now you'll see that this pops up. Now these green little boxes that pop up here, those are called object snaps. They are tracked down here. We'll get into that later on in the class with other drawings. Those are object snaps. Those are that line is snapping or locking on to that endpoint. Whatever the green box or shape is indicates what it is. You can see it says endpoint on there, and you can see that's giving you the measurement of 0.5. So you can click on that and it'll lock into that endpoint, or you can type in 0.5. I'm going to go to use my object snap and click on there. And it stops. Now it keeps going because this uses what's called the rubber band effect. It keeps on chaining and making these. I'm done drawing a line for right now, so let's hit escape. All right. Now we need to draw the top of the title block. And we're going to use those object snaps that I just talked about because even though it looks like a straight line, it's not. It's two segments. So I'm going to hit L and enter so I can get into my line command. And I'm going to go find. Right there is my endpoint. Now, the one you don't want to find, okay, it's not turned on. That's good. It can find midpoint too. Looks like I don't have it turned on. Okay, which that's a good thing for us right now. Later on, we're going to want to be able to find the midpoint of things from time to time. So we can click onto this endpoint. Then we can go and stretch all the way over here and click on this one too. The X is an intersection, but you can see it will find the midpoint once you move around a little bit and find it. We have 10.5 as our length, and that's right where we want that. And then we can, I'm right clicking and I can click confirm and then it'll go away or cancel. All right, so now we got our border on top of the title block. Now we got to divide this up into some boxes. That's where our 0.5 is also going to come into effect. But we're going to use something called offset. Now, it's got a couple spaces I know in this where you can get it from. If we go in here and we go to modify, here's the offset command. Now, the other nice thing about AutoCAD is this is a very, very old program, so it's DOS based from a long time ago. We can type in offset and you can see it pops up down here in the corner. Say, I want to use offset. Okay, now first thing it's asking us, what line do we want to pick? Now what it's going to do is it's going to, whatever line we choose, it's going to copy it, and then we have to input a distance that we want it to go. So it'll take a line and copy it a specific distance away from the original line. So that's pretty useful. So what we can do is we'll start with this one, and we'll say I want this little guy right there. And you can see it has a preview for me already. Do I want it this way? Do I want it over on this side? Nope, I want it this way, and I want it to be 3. So I'm going to type in 3 and enter. There it is. I want to do that one again, so I'm going to do this one again, and I'm going to say that I want it to be 3 and enter. Now I'm going to click on this one again right here. Now I'm going to say I want this one to be 2 and enter. And then I'm going to go over here, click on this one, go over on this side, and I'm going to say I want it to be, I think, 1.75, what we used. And then I hit escape, and there's my boxes for my title block. Okay, my different sections. Now, okay, pretty simply, I can do the same thing with this line right here for my guidelines, because we're going to put guidelines in here too. Okay, no, we're not going to do any lettering, but we want to be able to position the text that we're going to put in there. So again, I'm going to do offset. I'm going to click on this one. You can see it copies the whole line for me. And I'm going to go down, if I can remember correctly, I'm actually going to grab, we went to the middle, we made 8 out of all of them. So how about we'll just go down 0.25. Oops, that was too much. I don't want to do that one. So to right here, this is what happens if we make a mistake. Click on the line, so that's blue, and hit delete. So let's do offset again. I'll click on this one. I typed in the wrong one. I want it to be 0.125. That, and then I'm going to do this one, bottom one, go up 0.125. And now we've got, they look really wide. Someone's going to sit out, it looks really wide. Yeah, we're going to put text in there, okay? And we can adjust that if we want to. Okay, if it's really bothering us, we could go on there and go 3/16. if we wanted to look a little bit better. So I could go and delete this one. I can go and delete this one. And just to show you that, go again, offset, and to tell you that instead of doing decimal, you can do, it does recognize 316. It recognizes fractions. So we can go this one and go up 3/16. There you go. That looks like what's on your paper. Okay. So I'm going to confirm that. I right click to confirm that. Now, let's see if it will do. M text is what we want next. We want M text. What we're going to do is we're just going to click over here. And we're going to make this little box right here. All right. And I'm going to say that this is going to be AutoCAD drawing 1. Let's see what this looks like. That's really big. Okay, that's not going to fit in there. So let's double click on there and let's say, no, not 0.25, 125. Make that smaller. Now we can take this and see this little blue square box right there. We can click on it, drag that down right to over here. I'm going to put that and position it right there. Up, it clicked and went to somewhere, so I'm going to move this guy over and say, come on. Get right there for me, and then hit escape. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Text, go right here, box anywhere. I can change this. I want this to be my name. Okay. Go zoom in. Sadowski over here. Put your name in. Up, it clicked somewhere. Oh, it went all the way to that endpoint over there. So go grab that. The nice thing about this is you are going to only really have to do this one time, which is going to be a time saver. So over here. Now, someone may ask, well, could we put it down in here? Sure, you could. You do text and say, hey, I want a little box down on here, man, like over here. Thing is, it's hooking up to our endpoints over there. I got to put our date, so 12, say 16, 20. Want to be 5. Okay, up, popped it over there. Let's move it. You get over there. I just hit enter. That brings up the last command, the last one you did. I'll put my hour. You'll put whatever your hour is. Inch. Okay. Again, I'm going to show you how to edit here in a second once we get everything where we want it. This one there. Last one. And my drawing number. You'll put an actual number in there. I'm going to put number sign, pound sign, hashtag, whatever you want to call it. This is going to be a generic border and title block for us, so yeah, it's a big one. Up a little bit. Okay, so now what you will end up doing, you will end up saving this thing. Okay, you'll go up here and click on, let's see, I'm going to do save as. I want it, I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call it tech. Actually, let's do this. Let's call it 3 drawings. Okay. Then we're going to go inside there, and there's nothing in there, but we're going to have it be called border and title block, and we're going to click save. Now, you will bring this in every single time, and you'll have to do a save as. If you save it, it's going to save right on top of the last one. So you bring this in, and you'll have a new border and title block every single time. You don't have to make a new one. You don't have to do this. Now, things you have to change, the title, date, and number. So to do that, all you really got to do, I'm on any command. I'm hitting escape there. If I go on here and I double click on there, I can go and edit that with my check mark. Okay, and go over here if it's a different date, like, hey, I'm doing one tomorrow. So you go on here, all you have to do, the 7, say, okay, and now it's 7. All you have to do is when you get to a different number, hey, I'm on drawing, 17 now. So 17, say, okay, and that one we might have to move around a bit. But once you move the one time, it should be right in this specific spot you want it. Just like that. So nice and easy. Border and title block. That is how that is done in the AutoCAD web app.